I'm Jacob Hamilton,
And I'm Hidro Joseph.
and welcome to the Hardwood Huddle, a basketball podcast where we break down the latest news and games in the NBA and basketball world. Hidro, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Did you have a good Easter weekend?
Yeah, not too bad. A lot of ball. WrestleMania got a little sick there at the end, but we're rallying through it. That's
Sick
what you
because
got
you
to
were
do.
watching a whole bunch of sports all weekend?
It could be that. That could be the reason why, for sure. And some bad Easter food, terrible Easter food actually. But
as
that's
high as high as the cost of eggs is these days, you must. I can't believe you got some bad eggs out of that.
yeah, right.
Easter eggs.
All right. Um, so you have actually I'll let I'll let you explain the new segment that you're gonna start doing. I'll let you explain that.
All right. Here at the Hardwood Huddle podcast, um, there's gonna be some dead time when the season's over and all that stuff. So we got to come up with some fun segments and stuff to kind of uh, review what's happened in the league and what we had to look forward to as we move from the off season and find the NBA champion in June to the new season that starts in October. So one of the segments that I just came up with off the top of my head, the Hardwood Huddle will start doing a dead ball review. So DVR for short, and basically the team discusses the end state of an NBA team as the season has reached its demise. So anytime a team has ended their season, there's no more games to be played, and they are not the NBA champion, there's something to discuss. And so we'll be here to talk about it. And it kind of gives us, a wrap up of what that team did for the season and we start answering questions about what they should be looking forward to, if they have anything to look forward to at all. Yeah, sorry about that, Charlotte Hornets. I'm not sure about your future, but um, as an example, we'll just try it out. And the first dead ball review, DBR, that we have, and this is the only one that we'll do because we got a lot of first round games to talk about. We had the whole game one and some game twos that have happened in the 2025 playoffs. So we'll do a quick dead ball review for the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks finished with a 40-42 record and made the NBA play-in tournament as the eighth seed. Alas, they got walloped by the Orlando Magic, who treated them like little brothers. And the Miami Heat, 2 days later, went to their house and beat them in overtime. And they went from into the playoffs, but had to fight for a spot in the play-in to currently out of the playoffs. So they're on vacation. Keep in mind now that they lost to Orlando and Miami. Both teams are in their division, so it seems like they got a long way to go. Additionally, the Hawks have missed the playoffs 2 years in a row and five out of the past 8 years. This week, they fired their general manager, Landry Fields, and they're starting over. They got two first round picks this year, none of which they own. I believe they don't own their draft picks. They don't
Yep.
have control of their draft picks until 2028. So any draft picks they have are the result of trade. So it depends on other teams' records at the end of their season to determine where they land in the draft pecking order. They do have a star, Trey Young, Ice Trey. He's been with the teams for 7 seasons. Same as Luca, by the way. Same draft as Luca Doncic, who was traded by the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers. They decided to punt, but Atlanta's riding with Trey so far. He's averaging 25.3 points per game, 9.8 assists per game, and 6.7 free throws made in his career. So he's doing pretty good. He's made some All Star teams. In Hawks history, he's sixth in points scored, first in assists. He actually led the league in assists this year with 11.6 per game. 10th in made threes in Hawks franchise history, and third in made free throws. In all this time, he's had zero All Star teammates. Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
Um, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Zachary Ricochet, and Onyeka Okongwu are all under 24 years old and under team control. So they do have young pieces to work with, and it does feel like they're growing. The number one pick in the league, Zachary Ricochet, was actually really good for them this year, and he seems to be growing. 6'9" forward that shoots very well and improving. Like I said, they got two first round picks this year, neither of which their own. I think that they have the 13th pick, that was Sacramento's pick,
Yep.
and the 22nd pick. I'm not sure whose pick that was, but they're kind of
Yeah.
lottery and then bottom third of the draft. Uh, Trey Young didn't take too kindly to being in the eighth spot as the season came to an end, and then summarily dismissed from the playing tournament, so he didn't even get a shot at the playoffs, which, as you know, is a 7 game series for each round. And here's what he had to say at the end of the season. He said, "Scrap that effing playing. You play 82 games in the regular season, and that should be enough to determine which teams are going to the playoffs." Last thing I wanted to say about the Atlanta Hawks is that Chris Haynes reported today that Trey Young has no desire to leave the Atlanta Hawks. So my question to you, Mr. Jacob, do you agree with Trey Young's quote that you play 82 games in the regular season, that should be enough to determine which teams are going to the playoffs?
See, yeah, it's hard in certain scenarios, right? Because like some years we're gonna have deeper conferences than others, right? Like the play-in, we had what two good games per or one good game per play-in, right? If I'm like I'm forgetting the games now, but in the moment, I don't remember being happy about it. So I just I'm not gonna say I agree or disagree with Trey here, but I get where he's coming from. I see as a player playing 82 games, getting doing enough, right? And
Hmm.
then falling short. Like it's very it's a very it's weird. It's very year by year for me, especially with the plan. But yeah, what do you think about Trey Young's quote?
Man, I really loved that Clippers Warriors game 82 of the season, to try to fight their way to keep from being in the playing game. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
Uh, the Warriors ended up losing that game. And then to follow up, uh, there was the Grizzlies versus the Warriors, and
yep,
they fought to be the seventh seed and have the right to face the young Houston Rockets team as the second, as the 2 versus 7 seed. So, I mean, they fought tooth and nail. Whereas on the East, they had teams below 500 that
yeah,
were running like seventh, eighth seed, ninth seed, and 10th seed. The Miami Heat were the first 10th seed ever to make the NBA playoffs. So that means they won 2 road games in a row to do it, and it had to be in dramatic fashion because, as you know, they were the 10th seed.
yep,
So I feel like it's entertaining for the fans
yeah,
to have games that matter at the end of the season versus not. And he's just got to get used to the fact that that's not the way we do things anymore. The top 8 seeds don't make the playoffs. The top six
yeah,
seeds make the playoffs. So you need to do your work early if you want to guarantee yourself a 7 game series. Uh, you got more work to do. It's kind of like college. Like you're in, or you got more work to do. You're one of the groups that
yep,
got more work to do. So if you got more work to do, you got more work to do, and you gear up, lace them up. You had home court advantage, and you lost. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, you got to shake their hand.
yeah. I mean, it is true. Like you do have home court advantage. Like you have like the upper leg, right? Whatever that saying is, right?
Hmm.
I don't have enough brain capacity for basketball and that. But yeah, yeah, you got to win them, right? Like if you want to be in, you got to win it. It's what's in front of you, and you have to do it. Like there's no, you can't escape it. So yeah, I mean, but like what went wrong with the Hawks is the question here.
Yeah, so that first question was a bonus question, because Trey Young had that quote, and I thought it was interesting. But we're gonna typically do probably like two or three questions to kind of sum up how we feel about the end of their season and the start of next season for the Hawks.
Yeah,
So, what went wrong for the Hawks? Um, to me, I think that they had a split roster when it comes to win now versus play for the future.
yeah,
And that's kind of what happens when you have the 11th best odds, I believe it was, to get the number one pick, and you end up getting it. So,
yeah,
woohoo, great, you get the number one pick, but it's not like there was a sure thing in that draft. So,
yeah,
you end up with who you feel is the best player available, and you mix him in with some young players, but also with some veterans. So, he's learning on the fly, but
yep,
you got a superstar in Trey Young who's led the league in assists multiple times, been an All Star, been in the running for the Olympic team, all that stuff.
yep,
You got Clint Capella as a veteran. You got other vets on that team, and it seems like they're kind of split between do we need to play for the future um, or do we need to try to compete? Because they went to a conference finals not that long ago. I
yeah,
think it was 2021 or 2022. So they do
yeah.
have
2021.
pieces. Hmm.
Yeah,
What about
I
you?
I agree. I mean, you pretty much hit it nail on the head for me. It's hard to win games like if you're teetering in the middle there. Like you can't. Trey Young, like on the docket, zero All Star teammates, right? Like he made it to the conference finals. Eventually, law or who did he put? Oh yeah, they played the Bucks in the conference finals. Sorry, jeez. I was thinking the Knicks because he owns the Knicks. But
The
no, yeah,
Knicks would only dream of a conference finals, to be honest.
yeah, right. I mean, so do my sons, but I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for later. But yeah, you hit a nail on the head for me there. You can't have like Trey Young can't have zero All Star teammates. Uh, like what you said when he's in the running for USA roster and just everything else. So yeah,
What do you like about the Hawks moving forward?
moving. I like what they like that they kind of have that decision of where we want to go. You can go from let's scrap Trey, let's send him off to another team, or you have let's build around Trey, use the draft picks that we do have available, which is slim to none, but and move around. Like you have guys like Dyson Daniels who are coming up, right? Zachary Ricochet, a rookie, probably going to be second place in rookie votes for rookie of the year. Like you have it's you have so much. It's hard for me to say what I like about it a lot though. It's if I had to give a definite answer, I like the flexibility that they have in the sense of their players. What do you like about the Hawks?
You hit exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What I like the most about them moving forward is that they fired their general manager. So whenever you bring in new eyes, they'll be able to pick a path. And whether that means you get what you can for Trey Young, so you have more draft picks to choose from and go young. As you know, they lost to two teams in their division in
Yep.
Orlando and Miami. So it feels like there's a barrier, there's a ceiling to where they can go with Trey as their star. So if they want to go in that direction, they can. If they want to go in the other direction and package a couple of those first round picks that they have, for instance, to
Yep.
move up and go get a good go get some good young players or go get a veteran to pair with Trey Young. I know that the pairing with DeJounte Murray didn't work, but that doesn't mean that another pairing wouldn't. I
Yeah.
think if they paired them with a really good shot blocking center, that would really help, especially on the defensive end when Trey Young has a tendency to give up uh, to give up rim runs to the lane.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways they can go, and it just takes a good general manager to have a vision.
Yep.
And the last thing was, uh, what would you do if you were running the Hawks? So keep in mind, Trey Young is eligible for a 4-year, $229 million extension this summer. It could go up to 5 years, 345 mil if he makes All NBA, which I doubt. But let's assume that he's he's eligible for 4 years, 229 million this summer. And what do you do?
Uh, you know, personally, I don't know if I can sleep well at night giving Trey Young that amount of money. I he phenomenal, right? On the offensive side of things, he's great. He's fun to watch. It's just hard to give a guy that much money when you're not playing defense, right? And it's like he has taken him to the conference finals. He doesn't have anything around him. I don't know. I don't actually. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to give it some deep thought. It's tough because it's like, where do you go from here? I mean, maybe you try to somehow get a Zion pairing in there of Trey and Zion. Like if Zion is truly on the market this offseason, that would be an interesting one for me to watch. That would just be fun, like a lot of fun actually to watch.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to really put some thought into it if I wanted to trade away Trey. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to give him $229 million, and if he makes an All NBA team 345, that's
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
that's why I'm not a general manager.
Yeah,
Um, as an example, Miami Heat had Jimmy Butler eligible for a max extension this summer.
yep,
Uh, didn't want to didn't want to sign him to that extension, and he balked eventually. As a matter of fact, right after they finished playing the Phoenix Suns, all of a sudden he stopped playing for the Miami Heat and had
yep,
a bunch of suspensions and all that stuff, almost like he was trying to will his way to the Phoenix Suns roster, and he ended up, you know, kind of torpedoing the season to some extent for the Miami Heat because he wasn't really playing as hard as he could.
yeah,
So they eventually had to trade him, and they ended up trading for a guy that had extra years on his contract. Two guys, by the way. Like
yep.
they, in order to get a first round pick back from Golden State, they had to absorb Andrew Wiggins and they had to absorb uh, what's his name, Slow Mo,
Kyle
Anderson, I
Anderson.
believe, Kyle Anderson,
Yep.
and those contracts run longer than what they would have done if they'd have just let Jimmy run out,
Yeah.
and to run his contract out. So to go back to the Hawks, if you want a disgruntled Trey Young that you're gonna have to trade for 10 cents on the dollar, you
Yeah.
don't sign him and see what you can do. See what you can do with the season that you have. Maybe Zachary Ricochet takes a leap. I don't know.
Yeah.
But on the
Definitely a
other hand,
possibility there for sure.
yeah. On the other hand, maybe you trade him before the draft. Package Trey Young with a couple of those first round picks
Yep.
to a team that will agree to sign him to an extension because obviously they're not going to give up what you would want in return for Trey Young without Trey Young being under contract. So they're going to have to be willing to sign an extension.
Yep.
As the same example, Jimmy Butler got traded to Golden State, but it was only under the table that you're going to sign me to a max extension, which they
Yeah.
did immediately after the
Instantly.
trade. So it's kind of like for me, it feels like your hand is forced and you do have to sign them to that extension,
Yeah.
but you can also see what you can do with trading them before the draft because the free agency where the signings start, where you can start signing people to the extensions happens after the draft. So if you trade them before the draft, you just agree with another team that once deals are able to be made that Trey Young is gone to that team, you can do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I guarantee there's teams out there that are very interested in Trey. Like that is like I mean maybe we see a trade of Phoenix if that's the case. Like Yeah, it's there's a lot of different ways that the Hawks can go about handling this, and it's going to be an interesting one to watch. And I hope they just do something. Like I don't want them to be a sitting duck and then just sign them to an extension and then they're stuck in the same spot and it almost turns into Portland with Dame, where it's
Yep.
like they can't really do anything because there's nothing around him. And there's like I mean, now look at Dame. Like I mean, like now he's a guy. It's like that. People are like, is he going to be remembered for anything crazy because he's never done anything other than grow a beard and win a Mickey Mouse MVP, like the actual Mickey Mouse. Like that's like what he won in the bubble. Like that's not hate. I like Dame, but yeah,
And so that's the end of our first dead ball review. What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked it. It's definitely gonna keep me on my toes for sure with the questions, just because like how would I have handled it if I'm the Hawks GM? Like what do I do? And I don't even know. So now I'm gonna have to maybe get a little upper hand next time and be a little bit more prepared in that sense, and maybe go on the trade machine and see what I can put together.
Enough about the Hawks. Playoff, baby. It's playoff
Playoff
time.
time. Let's do it. All right. I want to kind of start here with the Lakers versus Timberwolves. They tip off in about 30 minutes here. Um, yeah. So I mean, obviously we saw the Lakers lose. The exact score of the game was Saturday.
Too
Let me
much
pull.
to too little.
Yeah, 117 to or not 195. 117 to 95. Timberwolves
Hmm.
take the win. All right. Yeah, I kind of want to open this up here with if the Lakers lose tonight, I am scared of a sweep for the Lakers. Like seriously, I don't know how realistic that could be, but if the Lakers don't win tonight, I am scared as a Lakers fan of what could come next in these next two games. But that's just me. Um, I mean the Timberwolves shot 50% in game 1 from 3 and they shot 37% in the regular season. I hate the word. I don't want to call it a fake game, but if you're shooting 50% from 3, you're going to lose. Like if you're playing a team that's shooting 50%, you're just going to lose. But yeah, that's kind of just my initial thoughts on game 1. What are your initial thoughts?
The Timberwolves have been on a heater for a while.
Yep.
They've won quite a few games in order to avoid the play-in, first of all, because it looked like they were knee-deep in the play-in before they went on their huge run to finally, at the very tail end of the season, nick the Golden State Warriors to get that 6 seed.
Yep.
So they earned themselves uh, a week a week off as well as the Lakers. So
Yep.
they had plenty of time to prepare. And it showed that their momentum stuck. So
Yep.
I like how aggressive they were going to the cup, and the Lakers seemed to be forced to make decisions when it came to either protect the paint with the few big bodies that they have,
Yep.
or push out to the 3 point line and keep them from nailing those threes. Because
Yeah.
it seemed like every time that Nas Reed, let me go ahead and just say a name. Every time
Yeah.
Nas Reed was open, he was making the shot. It didn't
Yeah.
matter from where any part of the line. It didn't
Yep.
matter if the defense recovered to him. He's 7 foot tall. He shot
Yeah.
he shot the ball anyway, and he was scoring. I don't think that that's sustainable for the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure if the Lakers necessarily need to change anything when it comes to the way they were defending that.
Yeah.
The my personal opinion, I feel like the Lakers' problem was the offense.
Yep.
So 95 points in a game is not going to win you very much unless you're playing my Rockets, who lost 95 to 85. So there's that. Um, I think that LeBron not being able to score until the second quarter is something that they need to address immediately.
Yep.
You can't just have Luca being a threat on offense and that's it. It's just not sustainable
Nope.
when you're playing a team like Minnesota who could gang rebound defensive rebounds because they're so much bigger than you, and
Yeah.
also get second chance points with their hustle and just their pure physical force that they were playing with on both the offensive and defensive end. So they'll just out rebound you and get more shots up, which
Yep.
led to a lot of their open threes, but also on like just when they're playing defense. So I think that the Lakers need to figure out a way to get LeBron going, need to figure
Yep.
out a way to get more offense, whether that be Dalton Connect or Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Just pick your poison.
th-
Even Jackson Hayes, who only played like
Yep.
6, 7 minutes, I would need him to be more involved offensively just to keep at least those bigs attention long enough to
Yeah.
stay away from blocking the paint for Luca and them.
Yeah. And I mean, you hit it really nail on the head there. That's kind of all I had really. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to win a game if Luca's your leading scorer. I mean, you're going to win a game if Luca's your leading scorer. But he had 37. And then these are the shooting splits for Austin Reeves and LeBron James. Austin Reeves, 5 for 13 from the field, 3 for 8 from three. For LeBron, 8 for 18 from the field, 1 for 5 from three. I mean, if LeBron James is having a down night, Austin Reeves for sure cannot have one.
Hmm.
Not even close. Like it cannot. Like if that happens tonight, they're going to be in big trouble. Like just like last time. And even Ant really didn't have the craziest night. I believe he had 22 off the top of my head. I want to say I
Yeah,
think it was
it wasn't crazy.
no. I mean he was still talking his mess though, like he always does, which I love that.
He got
Um,
fined for that.
Yep. He did. Yeah. I mean, he said
We
some
can't
weird
say what he
stuff though.
said,
I
but
he said some weird stuff. But yeah, I mean, you have Jaden McDaniels having 25 points, 9 boards, and 2 assists. Like Jaden McDaniels is not doing that. Rui Hachimura had a bad game. It's just like it just kind of seemed like one team was having a better night than the other. Truthfully, you're not hitting your shots and all that. So that's kind of it for me.
I could see the Lakers losing this game and still making it a series. But I would need to see something from them in this game too. It can't just be what game one looked like.
Yeah.
That's a non-starter.
Yeah, that's just not gonna like that's not happening. And like you just can't have Luca just score 37 and be like, hey, we're gonna win. Like, no, you're not gonna win. Um, anything else that you wanted to add for the Lakers versus Timberwolves? Just to make sure you got
Nope.
everything.
Looking forward to this game too. That's happening after OKC finishes whooping up on Memphis
Yep.
in their game too. Be like
And
two butt whoopings in a row isn't great.
live game that just ended, Pacers versus Bucks. Pacers beat the Bucks. Siakam had 24 points and Tyrese had 21 as well. All right. I will kind of I want to do this series next because whoa, I want to do this series next because you called it a 7 game series and I kind of thought that was pretty crazy, but maybe with Jason Tatum being out, we'll have to see here. So Celtics versus Magic. You had the 7 game. I want to see how you're feeling now.
So you want to tell everybody who won that game one?
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Celtics beat the Magic. The score was whoa. My real app is tweaking. 103-86. Celtics beat the Magic.
86 points isn't going to get it done.
Nope.
However, we went into the series knowing that Jalen Brown had a little bit of a knee issue.
Yep.
Uh, in game one, Jason Tatum appeared to have sprained his right wrist, and
Yes.
I hear that he's listed currently as doubtful, I believe,
Yeah.
for game two.
Yeah.
And Jason Tatum is, as you know, All NBA, their best player.
Yep.
They're very deep. Congrats to Peyton Pritchard for winning the Sixth Man of the Year.
Yep.
That was just announced by the NBA today. And they got a lot of shooters around them, but you know, shots come and go. I believe that Boston was pretty much unstoppable when it came to playing at home last
Mm-hmm.
season, and this season is different. I liked what I saw from Orlando when they played the Hawks in the play-in in terms of just how big they are and
Yep.
how many shots they could get up. And I think
Yeah.
they just need a change of plans when it comes to their offense. Again,
Yeah.
there's a lot of defensive games that are happening in these NBA playoffs, and some teams are responding, and some teams aren't.
Just not.
So
Yeah.
yeah, some teams are responding, uh, like the Clippers and the Nuggets and those type of teams, and some teams aren't, like the Rockets in Game One, the Grizzlies, obviously, and teams like that. So
Yeah.
I believe that Orlando can generate a response. It's not going to be that good of an offense outside of Paolo Banchero, but
Yep.
um, I'm thinking that they should still be able to hold a hobbled Boston Celtics team eventually. And I feel like they'll play better at home. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it may not be next game, but I do feel like they'll play better at home.
Yeah. Obviously no Tatum game two. That's maybe possibly he's doubtful, like you said. Yeah, Orlando had 15 turnovers in game one. I know technically that's not the craziest amount of turnovers, but in playoff games you just can't get away with having 15 turnovers in a game. That's just not how it's going to work. Um yeah, I think if you take one game in Boston and if it's game two, that's pretty big. That's big for Orlando. But with Tatum missing only 10 games in the regular season, the team is 8-2 in those 10 games. Both losses are to the Magic. So maybe there's
Mm.
something there that they have where it's like, no Tatum, this is just easy money right here. I'd have to like truly go back and like watch those games and see what was the difference maker with Tatum not being out or not playing. Sorry, but yeah, it's still gonna be it's still not gonna be the easiest thing to beat Boston in Boston, and they'll be extra loud there. Like it'll get loud if Tatum's not playing because they know that the fans are gonna have to play pretty much a 6-man role in it.
Orlando was better at home than they were on the road. They were above 500, I think 22-19 at home and 19-22 on the road. So I do think that they'll have a little bit more of a boost. Cole Anthony, young players like that will play a lot better when it comes to playing at home. So
And this Magic
if they don't
team
have a
is
good
not.
showing in game two, I think they'll have a way better showing in game three and
Oh,
four.
for sure. As long if they go out tomorrow, right? I believe that game is tomorrow. And have a great showing and still end up losing, and it still looks good. They lose it by like 5, like in reachable distance to win the game. I don't think they'll have a problem in Orlando. And the Magic also had. I'm trying to think of the injury that Paulo and Franz had. I believe like a torn muscle in their rib near the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
And they were out for significant time. So like their record truly doesn't show what the team they are, like what type of team they are. It's just they just had bad luck to start the year and then made a push there at the end. So uh yeah. Thunder versus Grizzlies. We have game two on right now. It's about to end 118-99 Thunder. But yeah, I mean, what did you see in game one? Like that that makes what the Grizzlies can adjust to win. What did you see there? I mean, you get beat by that much. I mean, it's pretty hard.
Go ahead and give the final score.
For the final
The
score
game
of
one.
game
Game
one,
one.
that was
They
Sunday.
lost by 51 points, I believe.
Yep, 131 to 80. I mean, hey, they scored 99 tonight. We're making adjustments here.
101.
Oh, is it 101?
Oh, they took those points off. Oh, your TV's ahead of mine.
I got it. I got it on the real app. I mean, you got to get on the real app. That's my favorite app.
They lost by 51 points. We can
Yeah.
probably move on. I really don't
Yeah.
got anything to say other than that team is not a good matchup for
No.
the it's they cannot match up with OKC at this point.
No.
Now, of
And
course, OKC can have a bad game,
Yep.
playing against the Grizzlies, and they'll still win. So
Yeah.
I'm not that worried about that. And a lot of that is because OKC is deep. They've already proven that they have MVP caliber if he did not win the MVP this year in SGA. So they have a closer if a game happens to be close in Memphis, which
Yep.
uh it wouldn't surprise me if none of the games are close. But if they
Yeah.
were, they have closer in SGA. They got J-Dub, they got Chet Holmgren, they
Yep.
got Isaiah
Uh,
Hartenstein,
yeah. Lou
Alex
Dort. Like you
Caruso,
got.
NBA champion.
Yep.
They have the tools and they have the depth. So through injury, through foul trouble, through whatever, there's really not a chance. They got potential defensive players of the year on their team,
Yeah.
and all defensive players in Lou Dort, and
Yep. I mean, this team is just. They're just
yeah,
insane.
Memphis cannot match up
No.
with them at any position. Their
Yeah.
best position is point guard, and SGA is another level than John Morant at this time.
Yeah. And the Thunder are winning these games with like truthfully not good performances from Shea. I mean,
Correct.
if you're a box score watcher, it might be a good performance to that standard. But I mean, he shot 10 for 29 tonight. Like, I mean, he's not taking like low shots and making them all. He's taking a bunch of shots. And he had 15 last game, 4 for 13 from the field, 1 for
I
7 from
heard
three.
that. I heard that that's the lowest he scored since like 2018 or something
Really?
like that. That's the
That'd be a
lowest.
crazy
That's his
stat.
lowest point total in years. Or oh, I'm sorry. It might have been 2024. That might have been it.
That's still
Like
crazy. That's
that was the
still a
last
whole
time he
year.
scored under 20 since like October 2024. I think
Yeah.
that was the stat.
I mean, he's just like it's hard not to call him an MVP, you know? Like even though I
Hmm.
know he's probably gonna win it, like he's still an MVP player. Like just because I picked Jokic does not mean I'm hating on Shea. It's just an opinionated thing. Um yeah, that I mean that's pretty much it for that series. I mean, that could be the amount we've talked about for the rest of those games. Pistons versus Knicks. This is a series that probably is going to be my personal favorite, especially after it now being tied 1-1 with the Pistons taking the win yesterday. The score was 100 to 94 for game 2, and on Saturday for game 1, it was 123, 112. Knicks take the win. Um, just my opening thoughts on it. Asar Thompson needs to stop fouling a lot. He has gotten in foul trouble in both games. 5 fouls in game 1, uh, 6 fouls fouled out in game 2. But I'll say one thing just to touch on the fouls here a little bit. I saw Jalen Brunson back him down at the hash and slipped, and they called it a foul on Asar. It's like, I mean, that's just crazy. That's crazy. I mean, like, I don't really mind foul baiting that much, but like, it's the playoffs, and we're calling a slip a reaching. Like, we're not. We can't be doing that. But yeah, Cade with an unbelievable game yesterday for game 1, having, let me see right here, 33 points, 12 boards, along with 3 assists and 2 steals on a 62% true shooting, which is pretty good. But for the Knicks side of things, for game 2, in my opinion, I mean, Mikal Bridges can't be shooting 3 for 11. Cat can't have the performance he did. Uh, I know that I'm pretty sure on Knicks Twitter they were talking about fouls between the first half and the second half. The Pistons were getting every foul that they could, and then the Knicks started getting every foul they could. So it kind of evened out there. But OG had 10 points, McBride 8 points, Mitchell Robinson 0, still with a 3 plus minus. But I mean, Jalen Brunson's not going to win you every game here, and especially with the Pistons team that has Cade Cunningham and all those guys, they're just Jalen Brunson can't win you every game.
I think the Knicks were lucky to get out of New York with a split. I think
Yeah,
they should have lost game 1. They've had like a 17-0 run in the fourth quarter,
21-0, I believe.
21-0 run in the fourth
Yes.
quarter to
Yeah.
take the lead and keep it there. But Detroit controlled the game. It seemed like for most of that game,
Yeah.
and um, it's just a discussion needs to be had about the way Tom Thibodeau runs his rotations in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's running these guys ragged, some 40 some odd minutes a game,
Yeah.
and I believe that that's not sustainable, especially in today's NBA. He's been doing that since he's been a head coach. He ran Derrick Rose's knee into the ground, as some people would argue.
Yeah.
Um, in Chicago, Minnesota, he ran Jimmy Butler into the ground in
Yep.
two different teams. Yeah, Jimmy Butler couldn't even finish the season with Minnesota, and they ended
Yeah.
up not doing well. Uh, the Timberwolves team. Now he's on the Knicks, still with the short rotations, still with the 40 some minutes a game for his best players, and
Yeah.
even with the rest in between the games, that's just not the way this league is anymore.
Nope.
To where you could run players 45, 46 minutes a game, and you end up winning. It's too fast paced. There's too much taking picks and then having to run out to the 3 point line and then turn around and uh, get guarded full court while you're trying to bring the ball up and all that stuff. And you can't do that for 4 quarters
No.
anymore. So he needs to take a look at his rotations. Congrats to the Detroit Pistons for winning their first games, winning their first playoff game since 2007, 2008 season.
Yep.
So, uh,
That's crazy. That's
you
crazy.
know, I mean, I think that was Richard Hamilton's Detroit Pistons
I
that far back.
believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a
So,
crazy stat.
yeah, that is wild. A lot of current NBA fans were not born the last time the Pistons won a playoff game.
Yep.
I think
My sister
they've
wasn't
been
born and she's 16 years old. Like, that's crazy. That's
yeah.
crazy.
I
Like,
think they won like they made the playoffs like 2 times since then, but got swept
yeah.
both times, something like
Swept both
that.
times. Yeah.
Yeah. So excited for the Detroit fans.
Yep.
I I need to check what the time is their for their first game in Detroit because I'm interested in watching that, and it's
Four.
on Thursday. But it
It's
seems
on
like
Thursday.
it's early. Did you see the
Four,
time?
oh, well, I'm looking at it here. It says 4 p.m. and I'm on Pacific.
4 p.m. Pacific time?
Yeah.
Let me look that up because I
Is
swear
that
it
right?
said no. I think there's something off with their time because I think it's two West Coast games that they're trying. I mean, I'm sorry, two East Coast games that they're trying to put on. The NBA is on
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah. It
and
will be.
I think that one is at like 4 Central, and then one is at like 6:30, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Thunder versus Grizzlies. And even though that's technically a Western Conference game, but they're on the East Coast there. So, and that game is slated for 6:30 on TNT.
Isn't that early? Like, so if you're on the West Coast trying to watch the
Oh,
game,
oh, wait, no, yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. It is super early. I'm tripping. That would no, no, wait, I'm confused.
I'll
No,
investigate.
wait,
I'll
wait. The
investigate.
Pistons game would start. That would be in Michigan. That would be 7, I think. 7, I believe. And then I don't know what time zone the Grizzlies are in. Forgive me for that.
They're in the Central.
They're in Central.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't time zones get me all confused, man. This is why I don't do school. I just watch basketball. That's literally it.
All right.
Um,
So I'm thinking that that game is at 4 o'clock on the West Coast. Okay.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah, four, four,
they might have
four.
changed the times because when I
Is that
first saw
right?
it, I saw it seemed like it had to have been like 4 o'clock my time, and then 6:30 for the OKC versus Memphis. So I think they changed the times.
They
Okay.
must have. Yeah, and then we have obviously early games Saturday, because that's a weekend. But
Hmm. I
yeah,
was gonna say, because imagine being a Detroit fan and you have to get in there at like 5 o'clock in order to
yeah,
get to the game,
and
maybe 4 o'clock or something. But okay,
yeah, and
so
school usually gets out around like 2:30 to 3, right? So it's like, and there's going to be a lot of Pistons fans there. Now I'm excited to see that crowd. That's going
so
to be
it
fun.
should be a good time for them. Yeah, I'm excited to see how Detroit reacts to their first game and how New York responds.
Yeah,
I will be writing a New York Knicks article eventually about the way they've been playing and what they should probably be doing in order to grab hold of this series, seeing as Detroit is a team that is a young team outside of probably Dennis Schroeder and
yeah.
maybe
Michael
one other
Beasley,
guy.
Michael Beasley.
Yeah, so most of the team is just a bunch of young guys who don't have any experience, and they're playing like it's just a tough regular season game as opposed
Yeah,
to it's the playoffs. It's next level. New York is not making them feel like they're in the playoffs, and I'm gonna need them
yeah,
to uh, have a show of force in order to let them know, hey, we're the ones with the experience. Y'all, young bucks, y'all gonna have to wait your turn, and
yep.
have us move on to the the next round, the important round. There.
Yeah, and I think honestly, we'll see who's going to win this series in Game 4. I think it's obviously if you go up, let's say the Pistons win this one, Game 3, um, and the Knicks win Game 4, go back to New York, play Game 5. I mean, they're up 3-2, but then it's done. Like you took the one pretty much you needed in Detroit, and now you're gonna go back to Detroit and be. I'm That's just what I'm thinking on it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, that Pistons crowd is gonna be fire. Actually, I'm actually so hyped for that. I didn't
They
even
might
realize how.
announce the most improved player. It could be Cade Cunningham, by the way. They
Yeah,
could announce that,
which I believe he's odds on favorite. I want to say he's
wh-
odds on favorite still.
which is sad because he's the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's neither here nor
it's
there.
not. He's playing to what he should be playing, and they've been just like benching him last couple years. All right, your team, Warriors versus the Rockets. Um, how are you feeling?
Not great, but there is light at the end of the tunnel for my
Yep.
Rockets. The fact that Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler had what appeared to be amazing games, um, amazing shooting display from everywhere on the court by both of them,
Yeah.
and the Golden State Warriors only finished with 95 points means that like something was being effective on
Yeah.
the defensive end, and I don't think it was the Rockets really forcing a bunch of turnovers, but I need to check the turnover stats. I think it was basically that they were forcing Golden State into some tough shots and were able to out rebound the Warriors, and that
Yep.
was obvious. I don't have to see the numbers to see
Yeah.
that the Rockets felt like they dominated them at times on the glass. So that's good for them. But again, it seems to be a recurring theme. But the offense, when it comes to the playoffs, it seems like Jalen Green's 22 points per game is having
Yep.
trouble translating as you get further and further down into the season. He was, I think, the last game where they played a full roster, he had 7 points against the 7 to 9 points against the Denver Nuggets, and they got blown out.
Yeah.
And people wanted to chalk that up to the game doesn't matter. I said chalk that up as LeBron threw the chalk up in the
Yeah.
air. The Lakers and Timberwolves are about to play their game too. But I think it's a serious problem. Jalen Green
Yep.
played 82 games this season, which is impressive on the one hand. On the other hand, maybe he should have set some games to
Yeah.
rest any ailments that are preventing him from scoring his usual numbers.
Yep.
And they need him because Alperen Şengün had a wonderful game. He dominated. His
Yep.
first
As
NBA,
he should be, right? Like as he should.
yeah, his first NBA playoff points were a dunk on top of Draymond Green.
Yeah. That was crazy.
He's got international experience before he got into the league, so it's not like he's unfamiliar with the moment.
Yeah.
And it just takes the rest of the Rockets to step up. I really loved what Steven Adams brought to the table. They ended up having to play him extended minutes because it was impossible to take him off of the floor. He was playing so well, just
Yeah.
dominated defensively and on the boards. And the Rockets just need to figure out a way to find offense. Their starting backcourt was that was the worst shooting I've seen from a starting backcourt in recent memory. I really can't think of a worse one at this time between Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green. So they got work to do. They need to figure out a way to give people hope because if they lose their first two games at home and have to go to Golden State, nobody expects them to
No.
come back. Actually, I don't expect
Yeah.
them to win again if they can't find a way to show something on the offensive end. Uh, I had the Rockets in seven, and
Yeah.
I'm sticking by it. But I need to see some offense.
I can't remember exactly who I had, or I remember taking Rockets. I don't remember the exact games. I might have said 7-2 because that makes sense and that rings a bell in my head. Yeah. Obviously, you if you lose game two and you're going into Chase, right? That's their arena now. I was gonna call it Oracle, but it's been Chase, I think, for a
Definitely not
while now.
Oracle.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to, if you're down 2-0, that crowd is going to be bumping. You're going to, Amen Thompson's going to need to have a better game than he did. Uh, just like his brother, he got in some foul trouble as well with four. Um, he needs to clamp up Curry. And I know it's going to be hard because Curry does get calls. It's the Warriors. They get calls. We talked about it in our playoff preview show where Jimmy Butler seemed amazed on the calls that he was getting after airballing a layup. Yeah, it's going to be hard. He's going to have to obviously step up there. Stengun, obviously, if he plays like he did, then that's great. And obviously, I expect him to play that way. I want a big series out of him here. Jalen
Hmm.
Green, I mean, you really hit all the points on the head here. Unplayable at the end of the game.
Correct.
Unplayable. That this is a sidebar question here, but what let's say let's say y'all losing six. What do you want to do? Where's your head at if you lose in six?
It depends. I got to see how we lose, but
What if it's like
it
a
really depends.
what if it's like a mid six like loss? Like it's like yeah, like you had game one, you take game two, and it was like a good win, kinda. I don't know. I'm trying to like lay out all, all like the dates, but yeah, I don't know. Where do you go if you lose in six here?
We probably have to handle that in a DBR. So we'll
Yeah,
see when a dead ball review when
yeah,
when it comes to it. But I'd really just have to see it because it could be one of those scenarios where, hey, it was just a bad matchup. The
yeah,
Rockets have never beaten the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs, so
yeah,
it's not a rivalry, and maybe it's just, hey, you just need a matchup with a different team
yeah,
because they were this close to facing the Grizzlies instead of the Warriors, which I feel based on the Grizzlies being in their division, that would have been a better matchup for them.
yeah,
So, uh, and then there's also rumors about, hey, maybe they'll trade for a John Morant or um, a Devin Booker or
Kevin
Kevin
Durant.
Durant type of stuff. Uh,
Yeah,
so rumors abound. uh, it's great to see the young guys play in the playoffs and
yeah,
see what they're made of. And I like the Jabari Smiths and all that stuff. Like, and they got future in Reed Shepard and Cam Whitmore that's sitting on the bench ready to
yeah,
go the if the coach Ime Udoka would like to expand his bench and see what he can get out of them. But at the end of the day, it really just depends on what they look like. in
Yeah,
a mid six. A mid six can look like anything when it comes
that's true.
to the Warriors. So I would just have to see it.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to see where your head was at because it's like, I mean, obviously, I'm a Suns fan. I'm on Suns Twitter. I talk about Suns all day with my friends. It's like that's the team who we kind of want to see get a trade package out of for Kevin Durant. That that's
We
that's
got we
that.
got a we got a 17.6% chance, something like that, at like a top four pick. We're
Yeah.
not giving that to you for Kevin Durant. I'll
Well,
just
what
let you know that right now.
it? I mean,
If it doesn't fall in the top four,
it's definitely
we can have
movable.
a discussion for sure
Yeah,
because the offense needs the help,
yeah,
and it could be a smaller trade with Kevin Durant or a larger trade with Devin Booker. So
yeah. See,
depends on what your owner would like to do. To be honest, it's not up to the Rockets. I think it's
yeah,
actually up to the Suns.
yeah. It really is up to the Suns, and I don't even want to get into it because I'm already getting a little fired up here talking about it. All right. A game two that we saw yesterday, Clippers versus Nuggets. The score to that game was 105-102. Clippers take the win, tying the series.
Great series,
And
great series.
great series. And then game one, sorry, uh, 112-110. Nuggets take the win there.
Overtime.
Um, OT, that's right. Um, yeah, Kawhi had a crazy game. 15 for 19 from the field, 4 for 7 from three, 39 points. It was a very vintage Kawhi. He made his first 7 straight. And I was like, yeah, this. We're gonna see a Kawhi night, and that's always like what I like to see. Like, who doesn't like to see Kawhi go off? But for game two wise, Norman Powell can't play the way he did. I have to pull up his shooting splits, and same with
They
Harden.
won.
Harden had they
They
did.
won on the
They
road.
did, but that's not a sustainable win. It's not a sustainable win. Um where's Norman Powell? Norman Powell, uh 13 points, 5 for 14 from the field, um, 3 fouls. And then Harden had 7 for 17 from the field with 18 points. But Harden did have a good game one. Yeah, it's those games are going to be tough. This series is going to be very, very fun. Um, but for the Nuggets side of things, I mean, Michael Porter Jr., like, what was that? That what came out after game one? Was he? It wasn't that he was focused, right? Like he wasn't engaged into the game.
There was some Jokic quotes that seemed pretty damning when it came to his ability to make shots when the offense asked of him to do so. And
Yeah,
so just not aggressive enough, not not demanding when it came to it's almost like he's kind of sleepwalking through the
yep,
game like a Kyle Kuzma.
yeah.
And when he really should have been a lot more aggressive. And he showed that in game two. I think he finished with 15 points, 15 rebounds, and fouled out maybe.
Yeah, 15 points, 15 boards. Uh, no fouls actually. 3 turnovers. He shot 2 for 4 from three, 6 for 11 from the field.
Okay, so I'm gonna need to see him with some fouls. I'm gonna need to see him be aggressive,
Yeah.
use his length, and especially against a Clippers team that's not that big.
Mm-mm.
And I think he should be more forceful. Don't let Jokic and Westbrook dominate dominate the ball when they're actually prolific passers, and
Yeah.
you should be making yourself available and open for prolific passers who will willingly give you the ball, whether that be cuts to the basket or some pick and rolls or something. You can't just sit in a
Can't
corner
just
or
yeah, can't corner sit.
yeah, that's not gonna help the team at all. Because
No.
to me, even though you're supposedly a shooter, I don't find you a threat. Um,
Yep.
whereas Russell Westbrook, he's not sitting back and letting them do that to him. He's making the Clippers pay for the way
Yeah.
that they are defending him by leaving them open at the 3 point line.
Yeah,
So I'm proud
three
of
for
Russell
6 from
Westbrook too,
3.
by the way.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I was about to say cuz I mean, like you're going to leave Russ in the corner like and you know if he's open in the corner, like he's pulling it every time. Like he has like he doesn't
Hmm.
want people to hate on him. He's like respect me, and then he'll hit it, and then
Yep.
he's always about it after. But yeah, Michael Porter Jr. needs to be more aggressive. Clippers team that I mean, Zubac is doing what he can on Jokic. Still, Jokic having a 26 points, 12 boards, 10 assists, I believe, um,
Hmm.
for game two. Yeah, um, yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a long series here, but it's gonna be a very fun one. And it kind of I knew this was gonna be a good one, but for some reason it kind of just like clouded my judgment because I was more focused on this Buck series that now isn't looking too hot, and but the Knicks and Pistons series obviously that's
The
looking good. So
I think the NBA put Game Three on NBA TV, which is
no shot. Oh my
which is
gosh,
disappointing.
very they're getting the Pacers treatment. NBA
Yeah,
TV
maybe
like
maybe
every
they
time.
didn't think it was going to be that good of a series. I, that's pretty sad. I think they're missing a momentum shift there because I was watching the TNT crew and they were excited about the series and actively watching it, which is something that they don't normally do. So
Yeah,
I was I like their commentary when they actually watch the games.
yeah,
And one thing that they mentioned, I don't know if they mentioned or something that I saw on the internet. I'm pretty sure they mentioned it, but David Adelman, who's the coach of the Denver Nuggets
yeah,
and the son of former head coach Rick Adelman, former NBA head coach Rick Adelman. Uh, this is his first NBA team. He became interim coach after the Denver
Mike
Nuggets
Malone.
coach Mike Malone got fired with 3 games left in the season.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
pretty
his
crazy.
first loss
That's
as
crazy.
as coach. So, I think they won 3 or 4 games and then they got
Yeah,
ready for the
the
playoffs,
Clippers.
won the first game, and that was his first loss. So him making adjustments, we haven't seen that before. We don't know
Yep,
what that looks like, and he has to do that going into the Clippers arena.
yep.
So it's very interesting to see how that will play out. Hopefully, our listeners got NBA TV to
Yeah,
to, to watch how that plays out. But
yeah,
um, I'm interested in his X's and O's and what he wants to do with obviously the Kawhi situation, but on to a lesser extent the James Harden situation because it feels like they should be able to corral if they got a good game plan, they should find a way to corral James Harden
yep,
and keep him off of the free throw line. It looks like James Harden is doing a lot of floaters
yeah,
to try to make his points, and maybe that's a good thing versus him being able to do step back threes. Just keep him
yeah,
doing floaters, and that'll keep you in the game just for the fact that he's making twos instead of threes, and you're keeping them
yeah.
off the free throw line. But all those threes he was making, that can't happen.
Yep,
And I do feel like as close as the series is, it might be little things like that. Um, maybe a lot of the more role players for the Clippers get hot when they play at home. So it's something that
yep,
David Adelman has to figure out.
yeah. And I mean, I didn't even put any thought behind that it was his first loss. Like, I mean, obviously, if like you look on paper, you'd be able to tell. But that's very interesting because it's like, what like imagine he just stinks it up. Like he just got one loss and that was it. Like that was like all he needed to just go back down the hill is and do all that. But yeah, I
Because the
I
Nuggets
mean,
were struggling before Mike Malone got fired.
yep,
So all it takes is a little. You find a way to break through that wall, and all of a sudden, maybe they come all the way down and they can't win any more games. Maybe he finds a way to
crazy.
win those games on the road. We're gonna see. I know Jokic will show up.
Yeah, yeah, guarantee, pretty much. I mean, he should have had two triple doubles. I mean, he was one assist short, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that. That's actually super. And I just can't believe it's on NBA TV. Like, what are we what are we doing? What are we doing?
potentially the
Cavs
best
versus
series in the NBA playoffs right now, and they're
yeah,
gonna put one of the games on NBA TV.
crazy. I mean, it's pretty hard. Like when because what you they got Thunder's Grizzlies on TNT. Like
Yes, and that's what
take
I
that
meant to
off
say. Like they
TNT.
got Thunder Grizzlies in as the game they're gonna show
It's crazy.
on the network television,
Yeah, I mean
and
that is
and
insane.
the Thunder might win by 60 next time. Who knows?
If the Thunder win by 60, I'll put actually I can't put money on anything. I'm not old enough to do that. All right, uh your other team, Cavs versus the Heat. I missed this game. I was focused on WrestleMania and I haven't gone back and watched it fully. I've watched all of Ty Jerome's buckets because he was balling. But I mean, you're gonna have to debrief me here.
he played hard. He played hard.
Yeah,
They had some things that looked good. Their offense did not, and they got no way of stopping Donovan Mitchell from what it seems.
yeah, yeah,
I'm hoping that Eric Spoelstra has a different game plan for that, but Donovan Mitchell was. And by the way, let me preface this because I don't know if I've actually said this on the podcast, so maybe you don't know, but Miami's my favorite team in the East. The Rockets are my favorite team in the West, so I follow those two teams. However, my favorite player in the Western Conference is Luka Doncic. My
okay.
favorite player in the Eastern Conference is
Oh,
Donovan Mitchell.
so you're
So
you're you're really torn here, pretty much.
I would like Miami to make it a series but still lose because I would like to see what the Cavs do against a New York Knicks or a Boston Celtics.
Yeah,
And but I wouldn't be upset if the Heat found a way to win. They're not going to do that here.
no,
Donovan Mitchell was making some very incredible shots. Uh, their best players like Ty Jerome and stuff were also shooting incredibly well.
yeah,
So that could come and go when it comes to home court and that stuff. I'm not really worried about Ty Jerome over the long haul.
yeah.
Can you look up how many points he had? I think you said
Ty Jerome
17,
had 28 points along
28.
with
Yeah,
his 5 for 8 from three. Uh, I want to get his what was the quarter where he popped off? That was quarter four. He had 16 points in the fourth quarter. Uh,
that's insane.
crazy.
That's
He
insane.
was heat checking, like just like no thought for anybody else. He was like, I'm just gonna shoot this. Like, and I mean, it was actually crazy when I was watching it back.
Th- So it was an 8 point game at halftime, and it was still an 8 point game at the end of the third quarter. The Heat were
Mhm.
not out of it, but it
Yep.
felt like they were because their offense could not get going. Another
Mhm.
theme of this NBA playoffs. They say defense is dead in the NBA. I kid you not, it is not. It's a totally different. It's a totally different league when it comes to the way they guard. You just have to figure out a way to break through it. Tyler Hero
Yeah.
did not have the most efficient game.
Nope.
Bam Adebayo looked good, but it felt like they have to include Kelly Ware more on the offense, a rookie that they're
Yeah.
depending on here. So I'm happy that he's getting this playoff time, but I really don't think that he is being like he's being abused basically by the Cavaliers when it
Yeah.
comes to uh, on the defensive end. As big as he is, he's just not changing the shots to the point where the Heat can gain rebound and get that defensive rebound. It just
Yep.
looks like the shots are going in when it comes to Donovan Mitchell, and I'm not sure if there's a way to stop that. Playoff Donovan is a totally different level.
Yep.
Ever since like that bubble series between him and Jamal Murray,
That was
I've always think
crazy.
I thought that
That was
was
crazy.
like some of the craziest back and forth I've ever seen
Yeah.
between two guards, Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray. But Donovan Mitchell is a beast. I don't think they have a way to contain him, but Ty Jerome for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Eric Spoelstra will scheme around that, and if they were if they were close within 8 points, I feel like they have a chance. They were on the road, mind you, for two playing games and had
Yep.
to immediately go up to Cleveland. So they have not been in Miami for the past week plus
Yeah.
and going up. So they're not going to get back home until they left home, and it's going to be a 10 to 11 days before they get back home.
That's
So they've been on the road for a long time,
yeah.
and they're hardened by that. But they also got a bunch of young players who are getting used to all of this for the first time.
Yep.
Even the older players are not used to playing games to that effect. You know what I'm saying? Because that's still kind
Yeah.
of a new thing. So they've been in the playoffs for a few weeks now. It seems like, and they did what they had to do to get in,
Yep.
and they might have some dead legs when it comes to offense, but that should
Yeah.
change with some of the days in between. The first
Yeah.
round has a way of breaking things up a little bit more and
Yeah.
giving players some extra time. So I expect a better showing. I also expect them to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what I was expecting to hear from the debrief. Uh, and like I said, I was not truly paying that much attention to the game, so I don't want to throw out stupid words out there. So, um, the final series of the first round thus far, out of the ones that we've done, Pacers versus the Bucks. Game one, Pacers beat the Bucks 117-98, and today the Pacers beat the Bucks 123-115. Um, do you? I'll start this one. Kyle Kuzma had 0 points in game one. 0 points. That's obviously a pretty big deal there. Uh, no
Oh,
Dame.
let me interject. There was a stat where he played like 21, 22 minutes,
Yeah.
zero everything, 0 points, zero rebounds, zero steals, zero blocks, zero assists. And I don't know if that's happened in the playoffs before,
Yeah,
where
that
somebody was just running up and down the court and getting cardio for over 20 minutes a game and got nothing to show for it in the box, in the
no.
pure box score.
I mean, those are Tony Snell numbers, but in big time moments. Like you gotta respect it. Just the
They traded one of their franchise cornerstones and somebody who they
seriously.
might put their his number up in the rafters in Chris Middleton, who's a former Texas A&M Aggie,
Yep.
like me. There you go. And I think they're not getting their money's worth when it comes to that trade. I'm sorry, I'll let you continue.
No, you're good. I mean, I agree. You're not. I mean, you give up, like you said, a cornerstone of the franchise in a sense. Chris Middleton, who played a big part in winning a championship for them in 2021 against the Suns. I mean, it's also Kyle Kuzma. Like, let's not act like Kyle Kuzma was this crazy player in Washington because he wasn't. Like he said, like I'm pretty sure. I double check before if you share this information, but I'm pretty sure he just said that I'm just gonna start shooting everything. Like he just said he's gonna do that. Like I mean, this is a guy who did win a championship with the Lakers in the bubble.
Yep.
And his career has been downhill since pretty much from that point on. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got to say about Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, but Dame, let me pull up his finishing stats for this game.
Dame Lillard came back from
Yes.
that deep vein thrombosis that ended his season, his regular season, and a similar injury that ended Victor Wembanyama's season. But Dame is back now. He missed the first game, and
Yeah.
he played in this game too that just ended.
Yeah. Dame today 37 minutes, so playing playoff minutes. It's not like he had to really adjust, but I mean he did have 7 assists still. I'll give him that, but with 2 turnovers, which is still good. He shot 4 for 13 from the field, 2 for 8 from three, -7 plus minus, with 14 points and 3 boards, along with 4 fouls. Yeah, I mean it's hard to like be like Dame's trash. Like no, because like you come back from a blood clot or a deep vein thrombosis, you're not going to be the same player because I'm pretty sure you can't do any physical activity. That's just I'm pretty sure I heard that. Um, but I mean, in these wins for the Pacers, it's a collective win. It's not like you're having someone score 40 in both nights. Like their starting point guard has 12 points in some of these games, along with like 10 assists per usual. Um, but yeah, like I said in the playoff prediction show, the Pacers have been playing pretty good basketball. So uh, this is not very surprising to me.
Can you pull up? Can you pull up Giannis numbers
Yeah,
for those games?
yeah. I mean,
I just wanted
Giannis
to
is still
say,
doing his thing.
yeah. Damian Lillard, he didn't play game one, but he did register a stat in game one. He got a technical foul,
Oh yeah, that's
and
right. I
he
was like,
wasn't even in the game, and the the Pacers got to shoot a free throw off of that. I loved his outfit, by the way,
yeah,
when he came out on the court, and
yeah.
people could hear him mouth, "I'll see you on Tuesday," to Tyrese Halliburton, who was recently voted by the players, by the way, as the most overrated player in the NBA. But
I don't know about that.
he came on Tuesday, like he said, which surprised a lot of people coming back from that diagnosis, and
Yeah,
they still lost. Damian Lillard is an all-star, so it's not like Giannis is without help.
yeah.
But how many points did Giannis?
Giannis tonight ended with 34 points, 18 boards, will round it up to 20, with 7 assists, 14 for 20 from the field, no 3-point
That's
attempts.
those are MVP numbers. I can't believe like he's not even he may not even be top two
What?
that in MVP voting.
Oh, well, I mean, he's
I mean,
third, right?
look at
He's
the
third.
34 and 18 is ridiculous.
That's insane. But like, we we know this is what Giannis does. Like, and it's like it's another one of those things where people are getting like calm to it because it's happening so much. But like,
So
I mean, I
he
still like Giannis.
yeah, he's dominating like that, and it seems like it's not affecting the Pacers at all. Like,
Yep,
so let him do what he does, and then everybody else can score. Miles Turner, um,
yep,
Tyrese Halliburton, and the like. I really think that the Bucks, man, that dead ball review for the Bucks if they lose this first round to the Pacers, a team that's in their division, by the way.
yep.
I always
Who
like to
they've had
stress,
rivalry with before.
yeah, I always like to stress if you're losing to teams in your division, uh, it's time to blow it up because if that team is already better than you, where do you? That's your ceiling. You can't get
Yeah,
higher than them, and the
yeah.
Pacers aren't like top two or three in the East. So
Hmm.
if you can't get higher than the Pacers, where are you going?
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
got a top three MVP candidate. That's going to be a dead ball review. That should be interesting.
I
But
mean, a top three
I'm
MVP
hoping that
candidate that's only seen the finals once, like, which is crazy. Like, and this
mhm.
Giannis is an alien, like 6'11". I know he can't shoot. James Harden says he's got no bag, which he doesn't have a bag. But he's still insane. Like, I mean, two-time MVP. Like, I mean, he needs some get him some like real help. Luca, Luca, Giannis and Luca teaming up in that
Damian
middle.
Lillard, they traded the farm to get an All Star in there.
Yeah, I mean,
They did what they had to do. I'm not faulting the front office in this instance. This isn't
no,
the Atlanta
it's
Hawks
Dame.
front office.
That's who I'm faulting in this is Dame. But that's just
Uh,
me. I mean, they didn't work out. What was that last offseason or this offseason? Maybe the year before that. They didn't work out together all offseason. Like, what was that? Like, I haven't heard truly tons of great positive things out of the Bucks between Dame and Giannis. And Dame still gets his, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I mean, you can't just it can't just be a two-man show at the same time. It has to be everyone around them. And I guess we'll see what they do here. If they do get beat, which that is looking more than likely.
no, they got time. They go
I
to
don't
Milwaukee,
know.
right?
Yeah, they play in Milwaukee, but like who knows? Like if they're getting beat, not like close margins. Like they're getting beat pretty bad. But that's that's my opinion. And that's why I think I had Pacers in 6, I believe.
I like Rick Carlisle a lot better than I
Yeah.
like Doc Rivers. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, I think that might be a given. Um, all right, Hidro, where can they find you?
I am at the Hero Joe, THAHEROJOE on X, formerly known as Twitter, and also Instagram. You can also find my articles on bellyupsports.com. How about you, Jacob?
On Twitter, you can find me at Hammy 2004. Hammy spelled with an IE at the end, not a Y. And you find the Hardwood Huddle on Twitter at the Hardwood Huddle. Thank you to Belly Up Sports for giving us the show. Obviously, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, download, do whatever you can. Show your family, show everybody, and we'll be back with another episode here shortly. So, Hidro, have a good one.
Peace.